Welcome to Hindustan Times. My name is Jayashree Nandi. I write on environmental issues for Hindustan Times. Today we have with us Mr. K.S. Jayachandran. He is the Special Secretary, Environment Department, Delhi Government. Welcome, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. A very good afternoon to you, to all the
Hello, sir.
listeners.
Yeah. Sir, welcome to the HT Environment Conclave. We have a few questions for you related to how you're seeing various environmental issues in Delhi. For example, Yamuna, air pollution, plastics phase out, all of these. So I'm going to go one by one on these issues. Sir, I wanted to ask you for a very long time, for decades, we've been seeing that Yamuna has mostly been in the same state and the pollution levels haven't improved, especially in the Delhi stretch of Yamuna. What are the reasons? Also, there are various government schemes that are working both from the Delhi government side and the central government side. But why do you think we've not managed to improve, and what can be done about it?
Yeah, that's a very pertinent question. I mean, Yemen, as we know, is a living entity, it's a natural entity, and the riverbed, the quantity of water in the river is pretty constant. But what is not constant is the population which is coming inside in the catchment area of the river. So that's why we see that the water quality deteriorates as you go north to south. I mean, in a very systematic and a very consistent manner. The decrease in water quality. And the major reason I would attribute it is the increasing population over time and the sewage issues. The sewage issues which have been discharged into the Yamuna with because we have a lot of JJ clusters, a lot of unauthorized colonies, and it's very important to kind of treat all the sewage, trap all the sewage, and not let the biological oxygen demand of the river go up. So what happens when your biological oxygen demand increases in the river is that you get all a host of issues related to the river, be it the frothing of the river or the deterioration of water quality, the absence of aquatic life in the river. So these issues are just a reflection of the discharges that is happening from the catchment area, that is from the city to the river. Then we might know that every drop of water which falls from our house, it ultimately lands up in Yamuna. So we need to be very clear about that, because there are almost around hundreds and hundreds of drains, minor drains and major drains. Though there are 18 number of major drains, there are many hundreds of minor drains which actually reach to the Yamuna. And whatever water we spill over from either through the organized sewer network or to the unorganized open drains, it lands up in Yamuna. So what a citizen can do, one of the serious thing is the use of soaps and detergents. I mean, there are serious BI standards for soaps and detergents, but then the manufacturers of soap, the stockists of soaps and detergents, I mean, it has not been made mandatory for them. So what we see, detergent water, in the soap water which you generate in your household, they have phosphates and surfactants, which are a major reason for the frothing you see, Yamuna. So it's very important. We are actually taking some steps from the Delhi Pollution Control Committee to kind of pass directions to all the soap and detergent manufacturers and stockists to kind of display their phosphate percentage and surfactant percentage in the product, so that the customer can choose wisely. Apart from that, this is a sewage part. Apart from that, another big reason is because of the industrial effluence which comes out of industrial areas. So there are around 30 odd industry areas in the India across the landscape of Delhi. So the effluence of these industry areas could also be a good source of heavy metals, especially cadmium, copper, lead, molybdenum, which reduces the water quality of Yamuna. So we are also actually taking severe enforcement action against industrial units and ensure that they have proper effluent treatment plants with all the units.
So your DPCC direction to soap companies and manufacturers is a very interesting point. Are we going to see it soon? Has it already been made to the
Yeah,
soap
we
on the
already
cost?
released it.
Okay, you've already released it. Okay. So the other important issue for Delhi, which a crisis which we face every winter, is the air pollution problem. Though now in the last few years, actually air quality has marginally improved, but in the springtime and summertime, the issue is not that much. But in winter, air pollution levels go up. They're severe, and they pose a huge public health problem. How do you think? Why do you think this continues to happen? And what can be done about it?
Very well said. I mean, just like water, even air is a product of the population. And when we have a very employment generating space like Delhi, you will definitely have population coming inside. And as we kind of do apportionment of the sources of air pollution, we understand that a major source of air pollution is because of vehicles. So when the population comes in, we have a huge number of vehicles, and Delhi has one of the largest registered number of vehicles in the entire country. And it is because of the huge contribution of the vehicles on the road that we have this the deteriorating air quality in Delhi. And apart from that, there are other local emissions like dust emissions, roads, and so on. And we should never forget the contribution of the transboundary transfer of air pollutants due to stubble burning in our neighboring states. But having said that, Delhi government and Delhi Pollution Control Committee have been taking very, very proactive steps during the last 3-4 years. And the results are there to show, despite the increasing population. The results clearly show that the number of better days, number of good and moderate days have increased. When we just forget 2020, which happens to be a COVID or a lockdown year, when you compare to the normal years of 17, 18, and 19, 2021 has been a very exceptional year in terms of the number of good days and moderate days, and fair number of days in terms of air quality. And the main reason I would attribute it to the monitoring, strong monitoring systems in Delhi. And for a small 1,400 square kilometer space of Delhi, we got around 40 monitoring stations. And it is the most intensely monitored space in the entire country. And it's because of the data which we get from these monitoring stations that we are able to devise specific mitigation strategies in every hotspot. And having mentioned hotspots, we are very proud to say that the hotspot strategy of the government of Delhi has also been very instrumental, because we are not treating the entire space of Delhi as one single space. We are paying special attention to certain geographical areas where we find that the air quality is very bad, and we ensure that the local actions are taken, be it Malba, garbage, repairing roads, or removing traffic congestion points, or mechanical sweeping, or night patrolling to prevent biomass burning. So apart from that, information technology has been used. Last year, we released a Green Delhi app, which has been hugely successful. We received about 30,000 crowdsourced pollution-related grievances, which have been resolved within the SOP time. And very happy to tell you that so far we have resolved 90% within the resolution time of all the complaints which has been received on the Green Delhi app. Apart from that, the winter action plan was a proper scientific stakeholder endorsed plan, which we actually rolled out in the hotspots as well as other areas of Delhi. I would say measures like this were very instrumental. I would also take the name of the directions which we passed on the firecrackers, though, we could hear the firecrackers going on everyone, but there was a huge reduction in the number of firecrackers that were burned during Diwali as well. So there's a plethora of measures, a combination of measures, which I would say taken by the Delhi government, which led to at least better air quality during this year. And they definitely assure that 2022 will be a better year, and we'll be better prepared in terms of all the mitigation measures.
That is very reassuring to hear, sir. That 2022 is most likely to be better than the previous years. Sir, there's also something new coming up. There is a single-use plastic prohibition for certain items in the single-use plastic category, which includes, for example, earbuds, straws, flag holding sticks, and then various other crockery, cutlery, and all of that. So, how is Delhi preparing for this phase out?
Yeah, I mean, the central government has passed this plastic waste management amendment rules, which clearly, as you told, they identified certain items which needs to be banned from 1st July 2022. Items like earbuds, plastic sticks, plastic flags, candy sticks, ice cream sticks, polystyrene. And the Delhi government has been taking proactive steps to kind of understand, to kind of stay in readiness to ensure that by July 22, at least these items do not appear in the market. And towards the direction, DPCC has passed strict directions to all the producers, the manufacturers, retailers, that they need to phase out all these items by July 22 and ensure that they have zero inventory by July. And DPCC will definitely take stringent actions against all the stockists, against all the manufacturers who will be holding stock by July and the remaining items by December 22. And apart from that, we are also planning a huge mass awareness campaign on plastics, and we are trying to collaborate with a few NGOs and other organizations to have a citizen engagement plan regarding the usage of single-use plastics. It's very important to change the mindset of the customer, of the citizen, to ensure that the manufacturers and the products using single-use plastics do not arrive in the market. Apart from that, the industrial associations and the industrial units have been strictly monitored, and we passed strict directions to all the industrial units, all the manufacturers, to ensure that they do not have machineries which produce such single-use plastics by July and December of this year. And we have also initiated market survey of all, survey of markets of all Delhi to understand the availability of SUVs presently, and kind of set targets every month so that there's a phased reduction of the usage of plastics in all these markets. And this will not be a success unless we have very sound, feasible and practical alternatives to single-use plastics, which can be actually consumed by the customer. And towards the direction, Delhi government is preparing alternatives to single-use plastics policy, in which we are clearly laying down the clear alternatives which are economically feasible for the customer as well. That policy will also be soon on the floor.
So when do we expect that policy to be out? When do we expect that policy to be out, sir? The single-use plastic policy?
Yeah, the policy, we are holding some stakeholder consultation with all the recyclers, with all the young entrepreneurs now. So the document is almost ready. So we are also in touch with DRDO to kind of get some technologies on bioplastics. So I expect that the policy should be out within a month.
Okay. So my next question to you, Delhi, of course, is a very concretized kind of a space. There's a lot of buildings, and it's not really, there are green areas, but there's a lot of built up space. Do you have any plans to how can we increase our green cover? Also, people are very, very concerned about many development projects coming up and old trees being cut down. You may have heard or come across these kind of cases. Any plans for heritage trees, conserving trees, avenue trees?
Just like water and air, I would also like to tell you that the green cover, as per the latest State of the India report, forest report released by the Forest Survey of India, Dehradun, it also showed a good increase of around 17 square kilometer of green cover in Delhi. Even that is very good positive news for the citizens of the city. This includes both forest cover as well as tree cover. Very happy to say that Forest Department, in coordination with several departments, there are around 20 land owning departments in the city, and coordinating with MCDs, PWDs, DDA. So we have managed to kind of increase the forest cover and the tree cover during the last 2 years. The survey comes out every 2 years. So the last 2 years, an amount of 15 to 17 square kilometers is a substantial increase in green cover. So having said that, it's very important to kind of increase the green cover. And when we look at green spaces, there are a few categories of green spaces. One, you have this public parks, which we see maintained by the MCDs and DDA. Number two, you have the roadside plantations or the central verges of roads, which are maintained by the road owning agencies like PWD and MCDs. And number 3 is the community parks, which are equally important. There's a third category which we see in the local society, in the local RWA. And it's very important to concentrate on this third category, because we already have a sound network of public parks and central verges and roadside plantations. But it's very important to concentrate on the society parks, on the community parks, on the neighborhood parks. And the government of Delhi has been supporting and assisting all the RWAs and NGOs who could actually assist and bring these parks in a very green manner. And towards that direction, we have a very good scheme in kind of financially assisting RWAs. So I would urge your listeners to kind of, if they live in Delhi, it's very important. If they have a RWA, if they have a society, they should definitely visit the website of Delhi Parks and Garden Society. So this is a small society which the Delhi government has it in the environment department, and this society gives financial assistance to all resident welfare associations to the tune of around 2 to 3 lakhs per acre of a park. So these RWAs can actually avail those financial assistance to create as well as maintain already existing parks. That is one very important thing which we need to do. And there is another angle is about the indoor air pollution, the indoor plants which we can maintain. And the Delhi Parks and Garden Society as well as the Forest Department gives seedlings free of cost to the citizens. So if you can visit the website of the Forest Department, or if you can visit the website of the Delhi Parks and Garden Society, you get a list of the nurseries where if the citizens go, they get seedlings free of cost, which they can actually plant in the neighborhood parks, or they have it as indoor plants. So these are very good existing schemes which the Delhi citizens can avail of to ensure that apart from the governmental initiatives, that citizens could also play a big role in ensuring the small brown spaces they turn green in the future.
Sure, sir. Sir, thank you so much for your time, and we got to know about several new schemes. Actually, your directions on the plastic, on the single-use plastic, and also on detergents declaring the phosphate content is new and important. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for participating in the HT Environment Conclave.
Thank you.